Pop culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on the Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. Is off to a good start. Tuesday is feeling like Thursday today, and I don't really know why. As you guys can see, it's kind of dark. We don't have any sunlight, unfortunately, and it's going to stay that way until Friday. So now's the time to load up on vitamin D pills. Amen to that. So today's episode of the Morning Report, we only have about 4 stories, but they are pretty good stories that I'm really looking forward to getting your opinions on. We are going to be kicking things off by talking about Justin Baldoni. Another actress is accusing him of harassment. As you guys know, there's already Blake Lively who has accused him of harassment. In fact, she's full-blown sued him for harassment. But there's another woman, and she was also acting on the movie It Ends With Us. Then we're going to talk about Ryan Edwards and Mackenzie Standifer and how they are finally officially divorced and the terms of that divorce as well. Sean Kingston has been sentenced to jail time as well. And then lastly, we're going to talk about Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau and how it just might already be the end of their blooming love story. And it's kind of crazy because we only just heard about them, but apparently it's the whole going public thing that may have broken up their budding young romance. So all that and more in today's episode. Stay around. If you're enjoying today's episode of the Morning Report at any given moment, please don't hesitate to go ahead and give the stream a thumbs up so YouTube knows you enjoy my content. In the meanwhile, see who we got joining us for today's show. We've got Gala. Good morning. Good morning. We've got Jaleesa. Jaleesa, I think I forgot to credit you for the Javi Lauren story yesterday. So thanks so much for sending that post over. She says, can you please cover the Kirk, Rashida, and their son mess? Oh, Lord. I will need a moment to do a deep dive on that because I barely know Kirk and Rashida. I just know that their marriage is a mess. And I did hear something about the son, DV. He was standing up for his sister. I'll have to look into it. So I'm going to put a star next to your comment so I could really, dig deep on that story. Good morning, Steph. Good morning, Ronnie. Good morning, Carly, Jessica, Tyrell, Kahara, Venetia, Jenny, Michelle is here as well. Crazy Dalmatian lady. Ona is here. Megan, Tadisha, Kelly, Kaylin. So nice to see y'all here. And shout out to the Bush Squad that later came out in the comment section to let us know they were here. Shout out to you guys too. Good morning, Deshauna, as well. Kaylin says, sad to miss yesterday. Looked so good. Was supporting a friend that got to adopt his 2 boys after 2 long years. Well, listen, that sounds like an amazing, reason to not be here for the Morning Report. What a great friend you are. And congratulations to your friend as well on being able to finally finalize his new family. So stinking cute. So cool. Good morning, Deshauna, Cecilia, Acacia, Gertrude is here as well. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So the things are for the super chat members. So you can hit the join button to be, not super chat members. You can hit the join button to become a member of the channel, Gertrude. Thank you so much. Good morning, Shonda. Shonda told us yesterday she was here from the Bush Squad. She didn't say that today. So I guess that means we're going to be hearing a lot from her in the live chat. And I always love your dress when I see it, by the way, Shonda. It's really, really complimentary to you. Good morning, Nancy. Nice to see you. Now, Gertrude. Oh, really? You remember that? Wow, wow, wow. That was such a while ago. And you know what's crazy? When I did that special with them, one of my coworkers was like, Grace, was that you I saw? Because she loves 90 Day Fiance. And then she told all my work colleagues. I was like, oh my God. Oh my goodness. Wow. What a throwback. Thanks for the reminder, Gertrude. Now listen, why don't we go ahead and dig into today's story, shall we? And if I seem off today, guys, I'm telling you, it's the weather. My mood is so closely, unfortunately, linked to the weather. And as soon as it starts going gray, womp, 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 I start feeling awful. And it's terrible, absolutely terrible. But what can you do? Now, the first story on our docket is Justin Baldoni. Listen, I keep telling y'all, something in the buttermilk is not clean with this man. It seems like every other day there's a new story coming out behind the scenes that does not make him look good, right? So we already saw how the judge threw out his lawsuit against Blake Lively. And then we saw the judge scold him and his lawyers on several occasions in the courtroom as well. And now another actress has come forward and accused him of harassment. Listen, this is not direct harassment the same way that Blake Lively is accusing him of direct harassment, right? Blake Lively says, when we were supposed to be working together in a professional capacity, it felt like you were just, behaving very inappropriately. You were allowing your friends to behave inappropriately with me and whatnot. Like, that's that. However, this actress, Isabella Ferrer, is saying something a little bit differently. And her allegations of harassment against Justin Baldoni have more to do with a lawsuit. So amidst all of this, it ends with us drama. Both Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni have been sending out subpoenas to people to collect communications in order to use them to support their allegations against one another. So Isabella was already served one by Blake Lively before Justin Baldoni eventually tried to serve her with one as well. Okay, so just to set the stage for what is going on here, she's accusing him of harassing her for the communications that he needs for his dispute with Blake Lively. And so his lawyers filed a motion on August 12th of last week claiming that Isabella has been unreachable and unresponsive. So essentially uncooperative, right? And so via her lawyers, Isabella is now filing a rebuttal. And this time she's claiming that Justin Baldoni has, quote, engaged in bad faith tactics and filed his motion for improper purposes and with the aim of harassing her. And so all of this is just so shocking to me, right? Because why is it that the subpoena that Blake Lively filed, and that's her to the left of Blake, she played younger Blake in It Ends With Us. So why is it that the subpoena that Blake served her with is okay and she's cooperating, but now when Justin Baldoni serves her with one, it's a problem? Well, we got to read on to find out why that is. And again, she's really pissed because she is asking for the court to both deny Justin Baldoni's motion and impose sanctions on him, which would be just devastating to his cause here in this entire lawsuit. And so she also says that It Ends With Us, the producers behind it, so Justin Baldoni's Wayfarer Studios, would have to pay for her legal fees as well. So she's saying that It Ends With Us LLC has not honored its obligations. They initially agreed to indemnify the actress on serious condition that she confirmed that she will surrender control of her response and not actually allowing Ms. Ferrer to provide the documents that reveal the true facts. So she's saying that they're acting improperly also to get out of paying her legal fees the way that they are supposed to under contract. And so she says that she's already turned over communications to Blake's team as well when they served her with a subpoena. And, it wasn't until after she did that Justin Baldoni and his team have been, quote, improperly attempting to exert control over her, including with the new subpoena that her lawyers claim significantly overlap with Blake Lively's. Quote, Justin Baldoni made no effort to tailor the subpoena towards the production of new or different materials, demonstrating that the real aim of the Baldoni subpoena, as well as the pending motion, is to harass Ms. Ferrer. Who, Lord have mercy, you guys. I really do not get still to this day how things got so freaking ugly on the set of this film. They also say that Justin Baldoni's subpoena and motion are, quote, transparent efforts to exert pressure on Ms. Ferrer. I got to ask you guys. And then she also says that this kind of inappropriate behavior from him is nothing new, as if to say that, even throughout filming of this movie, Justin Baldoni was difficult or controlling or unreasonable in certain respects. So now that's two people that we've got out here making these sorts of claims against Justin Baldoni. And so I'm kind of like, listen, and then on top of that, the judge is repeatedly telling him and his team, that he does not find their conduct in his courtroom to be appropriate. They find for Justin and his team to to be trying to include things that are irrelevant to shame Blake or to create gossip around Blake. So he said that to them 2 times. The first time was when they brought in the random, like, kind of blind item about Taylor Swift and Blake's relationship with her. And the second time was recently when they published the entirety of Blake Lively's deposition. The judge said that was inappropriate. There's literally no reason for you to do that other than for you to try to gather some kind of scandal around her, which, you know, not good. I keep telling you, not good at all. Hey, Milan, good morning. Nice to see you, boo. Ronnie says, I love the sun too. I get grumpy when it gets hotty, right? Like, it is so rough out here. I'm trying to, like, boom, get that energy back in 3 days of this. Lord help me. Megan says, I never even knew who this guy was until this. Who is this guy? So I only knew him from Jane the Virgin. Mind you, I never watched Jane the Virgin, but that's basically his claim to fame. I don't know about him doing other movies or other television projects, although I'm sure he has. Good morning, Gwen. Nice to see you. Good morning, Carly. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Nice to see y'all here. Oh, we've got East Awesome in the house as well. Good morning, East Awesome. This Lively / Baldoni case is like the Energizer Bunny. It keeps going and going. We are so tired. And I agree with you, right? There's always something new happening with this case. And honestly, I keep telling you guys, like, don't be surprised if Justin Baldoni loses this, because it's just not looking good for him so far. There could be an upset, but as of right now, I think that Blake Lively is winning. Killen says, what's up with Taylor Swift not supporting? You know, not only not supporting publicly, but also kind of maybe potentially dropping hints to issues within the friendship. When we went over the track list for her new movie, like the, not movie, but album, The Life of a Showgirl, whatever, some of the titles to the songs were hinting at trouble in paradise in her friendship with Blake Lively. Of course, we have to wait for the full album to be dropped, and I believe it's going to come out in October. But I do strongly suspect that we're going to hear more about this entire saga in that album. Hey, Hamlets, I thought they had dropped all this. I hope Blake is embarrassed in court. The only thing that was dropped was Justin Baldoni's lawsuit so far. So that's probably what you're thinking about. So Blake had filed her $100 million lawsuit, and then Justin Baldoni, quote unquote, retaliated or clapped back, so to speak, by filing his own lawsuit for $400,000. And the judge dismissed that and decided to go ahead and just rope everything together in this one particular lawsuit, which, you know, maybe it's not necessarily anything against Justin Baldoni. Like, maybe it's just a lot neater and easier for them to just fight this all or duke it all out in one singular lawsuit. Good morning, Lokta. Nice to see you. Steph says, so this whole time there was another person / witness. Well, not to what was going on necessarily or allegedly going on between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. However, somebody else on the set who worked with Justin Baldoni and said that Justin Baldoni in general is a rather difficult person, and who is now outside of the filming of this movie, saying that, you know, he's harassing them and just, you know, being overall annoying and difficult. You know, here's my thing though. If his subpoena pretty much mirrors Blake Lively's subpoena, and she already complied with Blake Lively's subpoena and supplied the documents, why not just give that exact same stack of documents, proof, text messages to Justin's team and call it a day? I don't understand why there needs to be a dispute about this. Something about it to me is odd, right? Like, it saves the time for herself. It saves the time for the attorneys. It saves the time for, you know, Justin Baldoni. So why not just transfer it? You know, he's asking for the same thing apparently that Blake wanted. So where's the issue there, right? Just to play devil's advocate here. Milan says, are people going to say that she too is lying? You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they did. You know, I really do think that in the case of, you know, Lively v. Baldoni, that Justin Baldoni is really skating by on pretty privilege. There is no denying that is a very, very beautiful man. And sometimes, you know, unfortunately, people are biased when it comes to beautiful people, right? So, you know, and we're already biased as a society when it comes to men. Unfortunately, a lot of people would believe a man over a woman. And so you mix those two together, and then the woman already is an unlikable person, the way that Blake Lively is an unlikable person. You know, it doesn't look good for her. Carly says, does he look like he could be in a cult leader too? Anyone, or am I alone with this? I don't really get a vibe from him, to be honest with you. But you know what? Again, his beauty is really mesmerizing. I keep telling y'all, I saw this guy at the Teen Choice Awards, and that is a mesmerizing beauty. It's not every day you see a man that handsome, right? So maybe like if some people are just attracted to him and he's into this like spiritual woo-woo stuff, like it could very quickly and easily go down that route. Speaking of cult leaders, you know who's kind of like a cult leader? Isn't it that allegedly Jared Leto? Isn't he some sort of cult leader or something like that? Whatever, you know what? Hang on, let me write this down because that could be interesting. Whatever happened to Jared Leto and his alleged cult? You know, like that story came out and then it disappeared like almost instantly, right? So I kind of wonder, does he have like good cleanup team or something like that is able to get rid of like unflattering stories? Len says his religion is like Scientology, very creepy. What was his thing again? What was it again? Like he's got one of those kind of, I thought it was a new age religion, but apparently it's been around for a long while. And I don't know too much about it, to be honest with you guys. So I can't really say one way or the other about what it is that he practices, but it kind of seems like it's all based on just like peace and love and oneness from what I'm hearing. But again, like I could be naive here. Kaylin says, especially a white man, period, right? So we got to be really, 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 careful when it comes to checking our biases in these particular situations. Bree says, an employer subpoenaed an employee. Justin is not the sole owner. I don't think Justin is innocent, but that also doesn't mean that Blake isn't lying and love bombing people, right? And this is something that came out early on. So even before we got to the subpoena stage of this lawsuit, it was said very early on that Blake had this actress under her wing, that Blake had handpicked this actress as well. So a lot of people who are already Blake Lively detractors, right, have already argued from the very beginning that Isabella would be riding hard for Blake from the very beginning. And a lot of people even argued that she would be used as a pawn to kind of continue to further throw the wrench and cast doubt on Justin Baldoni's character and potentially help to assassinate his, his Hollywood career. Again, I don't know. I'm just telling you the things that I've seen across the internet. And Hamlets, that's the thing. I do agree with you. I don't like Blake Lively. I don't think she's a great person. I think she's weird. And her kind of love for, the slavery era and whatnot is very, very disturbing. And that's what makes me so mad that I have to remain objective when looking at the facts of things and how Justin Baldoni is not coming out looking too great. The judge is already really frustrated with him and his team. But again, that doesn't mean that, Blake Lively is this great person either, so it's tough. He says True Baldoni is a real life hunky Aladdin. I smash. He really is. Listen, if they ever do like a live Aladdin or whatever, he totally would be a shoo-in for that role. He really is truly, truly, truly handsome. Although actually, no, I don't think they would let him because he doesn't have Middle Eastern roots. What is he, like Italian roots or something like that? But again, really, really beautiful Disney Prince level, handsome sort of a man. So keep an eye on this, you guys. Listen, it's not looking too great. And I know that we're kind of tired of this story, but some of these updates have been just so really kind of plot twisty to me that I'm really looking forward to continuing to keeping you guys updated on what's going down. Now, we do have to move along to our next story. This time we're going to talk about the divorce that took 2.5, almost 3 years to get through. And it's the divorce of none other than Ryan Edwards, disgraced Teen Mom Next Chapter star, and his now ex-wife, Mackenzie Standifer. I still can't believe that if you're a victim of ABUSC in your marriage, the state or the city or whatever, the judge can still make you stay married to your abuser for 2+ years, right? The guy who was stalking you, who was harassing you online, who was bullying you online, who destroyed your home, you had to stay. That is so crazy to me, right? I feel like there should have been a rush express divorce in that particular situation. Now, granted, she was able to go through the process initially, it could have happened earlier, right? But then, she, just like Ryan, neglected to file certain paperwork that was necessary for it. But still, all of this is just so, listen, I think there's a culture where you can, I think this is in the Muslim religion. Y'all let me know if I'm wrong, but where you could just declare that you're divorced, right? So when it comes to these kinds of things, I really, really love that kind of express, VIP lane to getting divorced to literal psychos like Ryan Christopher Edwards. Well, anyway, listen. It's time to go ahead and read the details of this particular divorce and what each person walks away with in the arrangement. So shout out to the US Sun for getting a copy of their divorce decree, or should I say their marital dissolution agreement. So according to the US Sun, Mackenzie gets to keep their home. And that is a house that she purchased back in November of 2019 for $309,000. Well, here's my thing. I got to be honest with you guys. How did she qualify for a mortgage for a home that cost that much when she already had like 3 dependents? Maybe, yeah, like 3 or 4 dependents or something like that. I still do not get it, right? Because when we get to her salary is about $4K a month, right? So it's $4K a month. You have a car, you've got children, yet somehow you managed to qualify for a mortgage of 309. Like, I don't think that would have been possible in Canada, for example. Just saying. Y'all let me know. Like, is it easier to get mortgages in the US? Anyway, or maybe she had the teen mom salary at this point, because remember, when they were married or dating even, she did appear on the show, but was she getting paid that much? Because she didn't really appear on it for that long. Anyway, these are just questions that I'm asking out loud. So in addition to getting the home, and mind you, she had to repair it herself after Ryan destroyed it. And you know what I think maybe happened? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, the home that she's now living in, that she owns, was that not the home that Jen and Larry bought? It was like their lakeside home or something like that. So maybe they had some kind of like off-market deal or arrangement so that Mackenzie would be able to buy it. Like, listen, I'm asking so many, I've got so many questions in regards to this particular situation, right? Just saying. Now, and listen, I'm seeing so many comments now because, my comments section is a little bit delayed. So I'm seeing you guys' comments come up about Justin Baldoni and Blake. So I'm looking forward to getting back to that. East Awesome says marriage and divorce is all about assets and tax relief. Don't fall for it and do background checks. Amen to that. Acacia says Ryan's parents have connections in that little town. Clearly, yep. Don't forget, remember I did that little deep dive on his connection. So he's best friends with like the judge's son. And correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't he also like a best man in the judge's son's wedding? So that's why the judge has been keeping him out of jail, even though he's been, deserving of jail time for a very long time now. Hamlet says those southern states are horrible about divorce. Yeah, I still can't stand that whole you have to be separated for at least a year, pretty much under any circumstances. Like, that doesn't feel okay to me at all. Sleepy says it's mind-blowing. The system is so broken. It really is, and here we are in 2025 and it still doesn't seem like anybody's interested in changing that. But he says, why do people keep procreating with Ryan Edwards? The D can't be that great. Well, listen, he's getting some very, very low self-esteem women who are groupies to this show. Mackenzie was a fan of this show, just like Amanda is a fan of this show. And so to them, getting knocked up by Ryan, and mind you, Amanda's a retired crackhead, right? So maybe she fried some of her brain cells, with all the rugs she was doing. I don't know. And she's, kind of like on the same level as him. And then Mackenzie, in her case, she was like, pregnant, like 15, 16 years old, married and divorced by the time she was like 18. Like, she's lived a long and hard life. The girl now, twice divorced, 3 children. And I think she's only like 28, 29 years old. Like, it's kind of scary how quickly these people are, just blazing through life. It truly is, to be honest with you, right? Like, he's only getting a specific type of girl. He's not getting like this, big corporate, girl with a fully developed, frontal lobe that hasn't been fried by heroin or something, Becky says he's probably a selfish lover. Listen, the man probably passes out. Like, I don't even imagine it gets hard. Like, like whiskey D, like it must be hard. Like the connection, mind and body connection, when you've been on rugs for so many years, like, where is it? I don't know. Where is your scooter? Acacia says, are they counting Mackenzie's child support? I do have, a number on that. And unfortunately, and that's a good question, right? I don't know if they calculated that in her earnings. I don't think that they did, but the child support is really low, you guys. He only has to pay $613 or something like that. I'll get you guys the exact number when I continue with the story, but yeah, just FYI, it's a little bit disappointing to see the figure there. Tanisha says her credit score was probably high. Well, you know what? Maybe that's what it is. Like, honestly, I'm quite impressed that she was able to buy so much house, at her salary, especially when it's already divided amongst children and the car and other things. East says it's easier for people without student loans to get more mortgages in the US. I don't think they all They factored into your children into the formula. All she needs is a really good mortgage loan officer to tweak the numbers. Well, damn, listen, she needs to do an ad for her mortgage loan officer. Like I'm kind of feeling like, like a little bit too nosy, but I don't know. Like, listen, I've been through that mortgage process and it's not easy. Like they really freaking comb through everything, Shelby says Al said it was Mackenzie's name because Ryan had bad credit. So I don't understand how he wasn't charged when he exactly. And now it makes sense why she had to pay for it herself, unfortunately. But again, he should have been charged by the officers. They saw the damage. But you know what? They probably said that it was a civil thing. Although I think that things like that should be like fines, but apparently it was a civil matter, and Mackenzie never opted to sue him or anything like that, which to me is crazy. I think she should have, but maybe she was scared, right? This man has already proven to be dangerous and unhinged. So I don't know. I don't think it was a gift because she's got the mortgage on it. We need a cat. But yeah, I really do think that the parents probably like lowered the value. I think the house is worth more because remember, it's right on the lake and it's a really beautiful big house. So maybe they like worked out a mortgage. Maybe it's like a secondary mortgage, like that they already have on another home. Then they put Mackenzie. I don't know, but like something happened for her to be able to afford that home on her salary. Gwen says, depends on how much money your family has. Really? Although right now I don't know anyone my age who's been able to buy a house, and it just gets worse, right? It gets worse and worse and worse. Like I'm so pissed for like the next generation. What are they called? The Zoomers or whatever? Like, how are they going to be able to start their lives? Like it's bad out here. It's bad. Sleepy says, you'd think being a fan of the show would make you want him less. Well, that's the thing. But again, remember, you guys are looking at this from the perspective of healthy, normal people. Mackenzie and Amanda are not healthy, normal people. Again, remember what all that Mackenzie has been through and stuff at like her young age, right? And then like she's looking at it from a groupie brain. Like, they're still groupies to a lot of listen, there are groupies who would have babies with Charlie Sheen, for example, right? And then Amanda, she's been a groupie of the show, the guy, and then again, like she's been on rugs for a very long time, so that thing just doesn't work like the way that it should, right? Gwen says, I know through guys that are looking and their families are at least middle class, so now the parents and the family have to say, oh Lord, the system is so broken, y'all. Thanks, Brie. Love you too, boo. You guys, why don't we get into our next story? We want more details on this, you guys. So now we know that Mackenzie gets to keep the home. She purchased it for $309,000 back in November of 2019. Okay. And so she also got to keep her car, while Ryan got to keep his 2018 Ford F-150, 2024 Ducati, 2013 Mustang GT, 2021 BMW, 1969 Camaro, and 2017 Harley. Why does one man need so many vehicles? That's crazy. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars and one motorcycle for one man. And mind you, his salary is like $4,000 now that the show's gone. So listen, I know that the resale value on cars is not that high, but hopefully he's able to do something, right? Because the insurance on 4 cars, 4 or 5 vehicles or whatever, plus all the other expenses, all the kids that he has to take care of, right? Like that is an awful. And can I ask you guys, what does his new girl Amanda do for work? Like, is it the TikTok lives? Like, what does she do to make money? Because this seems like a lot of money, expensive. All the stuff that they've got are more expensive than the amount of money that they are pulling in. So I am kind of concerned there. I wouldn't be surprised if his parents were helping them financially though, right? So apparently both of them waived their right to alimony. So no spousal support from either end. They are each responsible for any of the debt that they have individually, and neither one of them can make any disparaging statements about the other on social media, which is very, very good, very important. We already saw the tirade that Ryan went on. He also accused Mackenzie of cheating. Well, listen, at first I thought it was crazy, right? Because we already knew that Ryan had been cheating from the very beginning of that relationship. Remember his Tinder DMs leaking, and he was asking girls how pink their coochies were and whatnot. Like, so I was always like, oh, like, no, he's just saying that because he got caught over the years and he wants to make Mackenzie look bad. However, Mackenzie, she's now been dating for a very long time a married man, not just any married man, but a man who was married to her own friend. So I wouldn't be surprised if it were true that she was cheating as well. Okay. So when it comes to the children, Mackenzie is the primary residential parent. She will have the kids 225 days out of the year, while Ryan has them 140 days. There is a 3-phase parenting plan that Ryan Edwards is currently on. So he gets the kids overnight every Saturday from 10 a.m. to Sunday at 6 p.m. starting August 16th in phase 1. For phase 2, he gets the kids Thursday after school to Sunday at 6 p.m. every other weekend. And on the weekends, Ryan does not have the children. He has to parent from Thursday after school to Friday morning. So just a little, night in the middle of the week. And then in February of 2026, Ryan gets the kids from Thursday after school to Monday morning every other weekend. And on the weekends that he doesn't have overnight parenting, he has them from Thursday after school to Monday morning. And so when it comes to child support, it's as I remembered earlier, he has to pay $613 a month, which is peanuts, right? But then $613 a month for the kids, right? Then you're paying for food for you and your family, outings and stuff. It's you, it's Amanda, it's Amanda's kid, it's Bentley, it's Jagger, Stella, and what's the new baby's name? It's a family of like 7 now. That's a lot, So you're paying for that. Then you're paying for your house. Then you're paying for your insurance. Then you're paying for your electricity, your water. You're paying for your cars and vehicles. You've got like 6, 7 of them. And your monthly salary is like $4,282. Granted, this is recent. Previously, he was making about $20K a month or something like that. And as for, how much money he set aside, I don't think he set aside much money. Remember, he was snorting half this money, injecting the other half, right? So don't be surprised if you see some changes to help kind of adjust to his new standard of living. Mackenzie also makes about $4,166. So their incomes aren't too far off. What does she do exactly? Like, I know she's always in scrubs, but she's not a nurse, is she? Like, she does some kind of like nursing related thing, but maybe she's not exactly a nurse. I'm not sure, right? So listen, congratulations to them on finally getting this divorce. I imagine that it must have been an absolute nightmare to stay married to this man for 2 years, past the date of filing. She filed for the first time in, February of 2023. And here we are ending 2025, and it's finally happening. Oh, Kate's here. Hey, Kate. Kate says that the name of their daughter is Presley. Okay, cool. Presley. Well, there you go. Like a family of 7, including little baby Presley. And look at all these like dépenses. Look at all these things that you have to pay for. Like they're, to me, I'm seeing red every single month. Not red like anger. However, red is in, money, bleeding money, right? Like not enough money being brought in to offset the amount of expenses that they have. So let's see what some of y'all have to say about this, okay? Camry says, it's about time the divorce is final. I wouldn't be surprised if he destroys Amanda's house in the future. I don't know what she sees in him. And you know what? That's the thing with some of these girlies. You see the way he treats another woman like absolute garbage, and you decide to sign up for that nonetheless. Like, that's absolutely crazy to me, right? And we all know that this is going to end poorly, right? Maybe even sometimes worse than it ended with the last chick, right? Look at Portia and Simon. She was there keying when he was humiliating his ex-wife, and now look at her. He's running her pockets ragged. He's not paying for some things in the house. There's liens against the house, and the man is no longer in the U.S. He might never be able to enter the U.S. again. So what's it to him to just let that thing go into foreclosure and let Portia suffer financially? He was also ordered to pay her some alimony and stuff. And again, he's not in the U.S. Who can force him to pay that woman, right? You got to be careful. Look at the man's track record with other women. Kate says Amanda was working with other people in recovery, but then she had the baby and got custody of her kids. So I don't know if she went back to work yet. Oh, well, that's great for her if that's what she's doing. Hopefully that motivates her to stay on the right track. And, I really like her kid. He's so cute. Listen, if they get another season of the show, I would be so happy to see more of him. He actually very quickly became like my first, not my first, but my favorite teen mom kid. I think he's absolutely adorable. Remember when he was like to Bentley, I always wanted a brother. Be still, my beating heart. Tadisha says Ryan has a lot of kids. Oh my God, I was shocked last year when Mackenzie let it slip that he had an outside child. Well, what's the tea on that? Like that just came and went, and now with the gag order, you're not going to be able to hear her talk about that anymore. But I do remember that, and I had completely forgotten until you brought it back up, Tadisha. That's crazy, isn't it? Right? Yeah, you guys, she did make that allegation, but we never got to see or hear anything about the child. When he says seems like a pretty fair arrangement, yeah, because one thing about Ryan, he really likes these cars, like And these are things that he had before Mackenzie. And like Mackenzie, she gets to keep that family and a certain level of like majority custody for the kids, which is great. So, and then the child support, well, given that his salary is now, in the $4,000 per month, 600 and whatever is pretty fair for that, right? So yeah, it does seem like things overall worked out rather equally. But honestly, I do have to wonder, like, if it was worth it for Mackenzie. I think she thought that she hit the jackpot, and I think that's another reason. When we wonder why do girls get with Ryan? You see him on the show. Sometimes, outside of being groupies for the person, and remember, Ryan was hot once upon a time, right? Like he used to be really hot, especially at 16 and pregnant. Where was I going? Yeah. And so when you see people on TV, a lot of times people, especially young people, especially sheltered people, they assume that every single person on TV is rich, right? And once upon a time, he had a lot of money, right? So maybe that's it. And y'all remember, as soon as she got with him, Mackenzie started having Rolex watches, Cartier bracelets and stuff. Like, I think she was about that money. I really do. Shelby says, one that sounds like a nightmare when the co-parenting is volatile. Abso-freaking-lutely. And good question, Steph. Has he ever come out with like any information about that? Because I don't even remember hearing anything about a child support arrangement between the two of them. Great question. BR says, I understand that they want parenting to be almost equal and fair, but all that split week shuffling, yeah, and one overnight seems like a lot. I agree. I definitely agree with that. I like 1 week, 1 week on, 1 week off in general. I feel like that, to me sounds like the most kind of, like you say, like a lot less shuffling for the kids. You get to stay one place a solid week without the random popping in and out and whatnot. Gail says, this time around, the 2-time polyop in Jenna Cullen was pre-cancer. Oh no, so sorry to hear that. Oh Lord. Oh, okay, thank God. It did not turn cancerous. Oh my goodness gracious, Gail. So sorry to hear that. Get well soon, Jenna. And, please keep us posted on how all of this transpires. Oh my goodness gracious. Kate says that Amanda works in medical sales. Does she really? Oh my God. Listen, I heard you could make some good money with that. Kellen says, isn't it so cute when dads get weekends? No response. Well, you know what? It actually enrages me for the moms. Like you have to get up with this kid. You have to do the homework with this kid. Like the annoying days. Most kids do not like school, the weekdays, right? And then when it's time to finally chill, enjoy your days because it's the freaking weekend. You can take them to the park. You can take them to the museum, the aquarium, whatever you want to do. All of a sudden, you have to give them to the dad. And you only got to hang out with them a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's not fair. So I do like, and I know you're being sarcastic, by the way, Caleb, but yeah, like I'm on the same page as you. Like, I can't stand it, So I am happy that they stopped doing the every single weekend thing now and started doing every other weekend, because it's not fair that, one parent, typically the mom, does all of the work during the week just for the dad to get to enjoy and like, chillax during the weekend. Not cool at all. Good morning, Trin. Nice to see you. And yes, Gwen, listen, sometimes it be like that. I was thinking about, Gwen was saying, I'm spending so much time this year coming up with stuff to say to get men to leave me alone. So far, there's nothing you can do, unfortunately, to get them to leave you alone. Even if you go to the park with like a nice book, headphones in, someone will still come up to you and start like asking all these questions, trying to hit on you. You're like, you don't see me with this book. You don't see me with these headphones. Like, move. Like, what are you doing? Like, it can be really annoying. East Austin says, Simon Guobadia is crying broke and his business is worth over $250K. That's $250 million then, right? $250 million. He needs to take the L and move on from Portia Williams Stewart Guobadia. Portia Williams Stewart Guobadia. I love that. Well, that's the thing, I think he's like talking to his lawyers to see if he actually does have to pay out, right? Because again, what happens when somebody who's not allowed in the country just stops paying things? Like, okay, well, F you then. Not you, East Austin, of course, but that's his thought process, I imagine, to the government. Like, oh, I'm not allowed in there, so why would I pay for my house? I'm not allowed in there, so why would I pay for my ex-wife? Like, does that not mean that I get to cut, really, truly cut ties at this point? Really, really curious. If any of you guys are into like international law, like international finance or anything like that, please let us know how this situation is going to potentially unfold for them. Keisha says, I don't feel bad for Mackenzie. She was desperate to get that ring. Ryan was nodding. Yes, exactly. She knew who he was. She knew, right? I think she did this because, again, fangirl, but I also think that there was a financial component. She was excited. She thought she was going to marry like a millionaire or something. And that, she and her kids would be living like rich and high off the hog. And unfortunately, that wasn't the case. All she got was fool's gold when it comes to Ryan. But, that's the thing about people who just put money over everything, including character. And I think that that's a problem that Portia, what does East Austin say? Portia Stewart Williams Guabadia. Like she also has that problem where she's so money hungry. And mind you, the girl has money, right? That she's willing to put that above anything. Like she loses all kinds of sense when it comes to vetting a partner. And that's why she constantly finds herself in the positions that she, that she's in, right? And so hopefully Mackenzie learned her lesson about this. Granted, Mackenzie's very young, right? She was already like a young mom. I think she had her kid at what, like 15, 16 years old. Like she was having that child young, already divorced at that, young, tender age too. Like it's also sad. It really, really is. But, now she's in her late 20s, I should say. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like she's learned all that much because guess what? Now she's being accused for a second time of being a mistress to a married man. So I don't even know what to say at this point, you guys. Like some people are kind of just like a lost cause. And I do worry that that is the case with Mackenzie Standiford. There's a certain level of desperation or pick-me-ness in her. Now, listen, guys, I do have to get to the next story just because I have to head out in a little bit. You know what I'm going to be doing, actually? Do you guys know Taiwan? Have you guys ever tried Taiwanese street food? I'm going to be having that with my friend Kenny tonight. So I'm also charging my phone actually because I want to make sure I have good battery so I could share some of the photos and videos with you guys of what we're going to eat. So that's what we're going to have tonight. So I'm really, really, really looking forward to that. But yeah, I'm heading out soon. So like I told you guys, a lot of Paris is closed in August, right? Like people go out on their like month-long vacation and whatnot. But some people, they break up that month vacation. And so they come back, but like it's not a full work day. So for example, now it's 4:46 here. And so he finishes his work at like 4:30 because there's no one here. And then he's going to go to the gym and then we're going to go out, right? So yeah, I'm kind of pressed for time a little bit, unfortunately. And you know what? I'm so silly because I was supposed to have a photo for this next story, the Sean Kingston story. So just imagine Sean Kingston for me, please. And sorry in advance. So do you remember how Sean Kingston and his mom were indicted and everything for pretty much like, what was it? Wire fraud or something like that? Like they are so freaking greedy. Truly greedy. These two people, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, have been sentenced to years in jail because they wanted to steal stupid things, televisions, mattresses and beds and cars. Like, really, that's what we're going to jail over? Like, that's crazy, right? So, by the way, did you know that his real name is Keshawn Paul Anderson? Here, I thought his name was really Sean Kingston. How green am I sometimes? I'm telling y'all. So I actually think that the government went pretty easy on them. So he was only sentenced to 3 years in prison, you guys, right? And then 3 years of supervised release. Granted, it's not what he wanted. He asked for house arrest and they said absolutely hell freaking no, right? However, his mother, 63-year-old Janice Eleanor Turner, by the way, I love that name, Eleanor. It's so beautiful to me. And it reminds me of Blair's mom in Gossip Girl. I used to be a fiend for that book series, like, with my friend, we used to read all the books. And so I remember her mom's name, Eleanor, and I love the name Blair as well. Anyway, but that's neither here nor there. So she was sentenced to actually more time than Sean was. She was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Again, both of these sentences are relatively light, and her sentencing is, harsher than his. So obviously that means that she was kind of the brains behind this entire operation, which was a crazy discovery for me because I really thought this entire time that it was Sean who was behind all of this. I thought he just got really greedy and roped his elderly, not that 63 is even elderly, right? But like, I thought that he roped his mother into it, but no, she's the one that did it, you guys. That's crazy. So apparently the way that their kind of like scam worked was that they wanted to get luxury items, right? Like an SUV, expensive watches, a big TV, so they could sit around and veg out in front of it, like for free. Right. And so this was happening via his social media accounts, most likely Instagram, from April of 2023 to March of 2024. So 11 months in total, according to the prosecutors. And so I guess people were excited to get to work with this celebrity. They trusted him a lot. However, when it came time for him to pay, he and his mom, they would fake like wire transfers, like, oh, like, here's proof, a screenshot that I have sent the money. It should be arriving to you anytime now, sort of a deal, right? And so, yeah, eventually that's how they got caught. All these people started complaining. They went to the police and boom. And again, they are going to prison over such stupid things. An Escalade, a bulletproof. What does Sean Kingston need a bulletproof Escalade for? Who cares about Sean Kingston, right? A 19-foot TV. What? A bed worth more than $86,000. who needs an $86,000 bed? Like, it's just stupid, like low vibrational things. Like, you know, if you're getting money, cash, like pure cash to do other things, to flip, to invest in, you know, I don't know, like a mafia style, like a mob style, you know, like those people, when they were stealing money, you know what they were doing? They were building skyscrapers, like stuff like that. But you were just so like lame. Really? You're going to prison for this, an $86,000 bed? Was it worth it? Like, that's crazy, right? And they even had proof of text messages that he was sending to his mom, like saying that he had told her to make like fake receipts and stuff, and, you know, telling her to tell the people that the transfer would be there in a couple of days. So they really had everything in black and white from these two bozos. Well, hopefully they enjoy their stint in prison. Isn't it crazy? You know, these people, they love these, you know, high-end beds and this and that. And now look, they're going to be sleeping on like, you know, I don't know, like a 2-ply tissue paper density bed in prison, like a little cot. His mom has a history of fraud, Misha. I had no idea. Here, I thought that woman was innocent. I actually felt so bad for her when I heard that they got arrested. How crazy is that? Well, now I feel bad for him. And it kind of felt as though the prosecutors also felt bad for him. They kind of thought that he was just kind of like this dope who had to go along with his mother's kind of scheme here, right? Which is absolutely insane. You know, I feel for him. You know, by the way, good morning, Misha. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Steph says, I was waiting for this story. How wild is this? They're about to do time together. Absolutely insane. She really did her son dirty. Like, as a parent, you're supposed to be setting a good example for your children. So to not only commit crimes, but then to rope your child into your crimes and, you know, ruin their life in the process, like, that's just not okay at all. She truly should be absolutely ashamed of herself. Like, I really feel for him. You know, at the end of the day, he is a grown man and everything, but still, like, with an influence like that, like, did he really stand a chance? I don't know. And who knows if she threatened him or whatever, because she really needed him to pull this off. A lot of this relied on his celebrity. A lot of this relied on his verified check mark, right? Crazy stuff. Yeah, Gwen, this story has been just such a head scratcher for a really long time. He did always have a reputation of not paying, similar to Tyga. Tyga was getting things repoed left and right. He had a big reputation, I think even Soulja Boy. But, you know, for him to be full-blown arrested and finding out that all of this was scamming, that's crazy, right? Exactly, Brie. Like, I'm sorry, but a 19-foot TV it screams like, it just screams like so lazy. You know what I mean? Like, oh, gross. Like, I'm sorry, but it gave me that ick. A 19-foot TV, to me, it's like somebody who has like bed sores or couch sores because they never get up because all they do is watch TV or something. All right. And exactly, Steph, all this just to end up in a tiny, thin, uncomfortable metal bed for 3 years, you know, for him, 5 years for his mother. Come on. How lame, how lame. Good morning to Snap. Listen. I'm trying to make sure my 2 snaps are in a Z formation. Good morning to you, boo. Hey, Angie. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Sam. Oh, hey, Angie. Did you get a new picture? Hang on. Let me zoom in on this. Y'all know I love a new picture. It's like picture day at school. Wow. So cute. Oh, my God. What a cute little family. Angie is so stinking cute. Good morning. Good morning to you. How are you doing? I feel like it's been a while since I've seen you, Angie. Where have you been? Were you on vacation? I feel like a couple of you had told me that you went on vacations or something like that. So I'm trying to keep track of everybody who's on vacation. I know one of our girls, our Virgo girls, she was celebrating her vacation in, what was it? It's not Aruba. What's that? Curacao. Was it Curacao? Yes. So glad you're here too, Angie. Oh my God. And Lex is here. Good morning, Lex. Nice to see you. Exactly. He's awesome. Like, this is just so freaking huge for no reason. Like, go outside, touch some grass, right? Imagine how his mom was when he was friends with Justin Bieber. Oh, I can only imagine. That's insane. Good point, you know? And Justin Bieber really liked him. And they had these collaborations together. And then look, you know, maybe that's why that friendship kind of petered out. Who's Kenny? East Austin? Who's Kenny? I'm trying to rack my brain to remember who's Kenny. My friend Kenny. Oh, Kenny. Oh, he's been my friend since like 2020. So, you know, I have the same group of friends that I've met like pretty much when I got here I got here in January of 2020, but I met these group of friends in May of 2020. And, you know, so he's so cute. He's my friend. He's gay, by the way. So, like, in case people are thinking that I'm like just being coy, no, he's gay. And he has a boyfriend, and they've been together for 2 years. And his boyfriend, Chris, was supposed to join us tonight. However, their cat got sick, and so the boyfriend has to take the cat to the vet, so he can't join us, so it's just going to be us two. But he's so lovely. He's this French guy. He's from Champagne, a really cute, beautiful region in France, of course. And so yeah, so we're going to be hanging out, doing our little street food thing, and then we're going to have to do another date with his boyfriend another time. Listen, I'm sad about the cat, but I am glad, to be honest with you guys, that I get to have a, just one-on-one with my friend Kenny. I like his boyfriend and everything. However, I do feel like ever since they started dating that, like, it's always a thing, 3 people, but sometimes it's nice just to see your friend one-on-one too. So I'm looking forward to that. Carly says, embarrassing to use your son for money, embarrassing to go along with your mom's foolishness. Oh, and embarrassing to get caught stealing such dumb stuff. I could not have said it better myself. It's all so stupid. Really, if you're going, don't do it, right? Don't steal, don't commit fraud, but at least be, I'm telling you, like, the mafia, they weren't playing around. They were building skyscrapers, like, come on. Like, what is this lame stuff? And I agree, Tanisha. Lame. Lord. Angie says, once my kids go back to school, I should be able to watch daily. So you weren't on vacation. You've just been running around with the kids all summer long. I get it. That's my sassy daughter, Anahi. Oh, what a beautiful name, too. That's so cool. I love it. Where does the name Anahi come from, Angie? It's really beautiful. So cute. East Austin says, sorry, can you dress up and find your Jason at the time? Oh, he's awesome. Not Taiwanese. And listen, let's just say she's good. She's good. But thanks for looking out, Boo. But yeah, Kenny's so adorable. I'm really looking forward to seeing him. And we actually go to the same gym. I wanted to go to the gym with him, but he's going so early. Like, he got there like a couple minutes ago. So I'm like, no, I can't go. I'll go live. But I'm going to go to the gym after our hangout. And he's going now. Now, you guys, listen, I don't have too much time, unfortunately. I have to run very soon. But I wanted to get into the Justin Trudeau, Katy Perry story with you guys because, I keep telling y'all, as a Canadian, this story is so exciting to me. Not my ex-prime minister, dating a Hollywood star. That's so crazy, isn't it? Well, we talked about this about 2 weeks ago, how they were caught on a dinner date together. Then, in the photo that you're seeing here on the screen, that was Justin Trudeau dropping her off at her hotel or walking her to her hotel, the Ritz-Carlton in Montreal, Quebec. And then he went to her concert and everything. Like, it was really all looking so great. Like, I thought that, we have finally arrived as a country, right? But unfortunately, according to the Daily Fail, mind you, this is the Daily Fail, so take it with a grain of salt, but they are claiming that these two are kind of not in the best place right now. Apparently, according to an alleged insider, they're just so busy. She's busy, he's busy, everybody's busy, right? And prior to the photos being leaked, they were texting each other nonstop in July, but right now they've got a lot going on and the newness has worn off. Here's my thing though. Justin Trudeau is not busy. Justin Trudeau retired. And it's not like he's running around giving all these speeches and stuff or writing books, the way that sometimes politicians, do. He's not up to anything. So I think that that's a cop-out. But again, this is news coming from the Daily Fail, and you can't always trust what they have to say, right? But just an FYI that is what they are currently claiming about this relationship. And the source is also claiming that Justin was also bothered by the attention that this dinner date with Katy Perry got on him. Quote, I know for a fact that Justin wasn't thrilled about the pictures getting out. It was a first date. And these pictures came out and it became this huge thing, which is not what he seems to have wanted. Apparently, Justin was not prepared for all the attention that comes with dating Katy Perry. Quote, it can be a lot and it can be overwhelming. I'm sorry, but listen, Misha, you could probably confirm this as a Canadian girlie in here, B-Wise, and I think we've got some other Canadians in here. But Tyrell, maybe our other Canadian girlie, Justin Trudeau's kind of known as an attention whore. Like, his whole thing, right, is that like he wanted to be an actor, or he wanted to be this boxer or whatever, right? He was a drama teacher before he was a prime minister. Like, he wants to be famous. He loves Hollywood. He revels in his reputation as this like pretty boy or whatever. And he's just so freaking performative because he always wants to be perfect and palatable to everybody like a Hollywood star. I wouldn't be surprised if he were thrilled about all of these pictures getting out. I wouldn't be surprised if he were chasing Katy, trying to lock it down so that he could parlay his life into Hollywood. If not for him, then for his son. His son, Xavier, is trying to become a rapper. This family thrives. in the spotlight. So I don't believe this at all. I keep telling y'all, the Daily Fail, you can't really trust them, to be honest with you. You can't, right? And so they're also saying that Katy Perry isn't ready to be dated. Shut up. I don't buy any of this. I think they're still seeing each other. Just saying. Or maybe this is just my hopes, because I really do want for Justin Trudeau to finally be able to make his Hollywood debut. We should listen, and maybe after this he can get with Melania Trump. Y'all know Melania has a crush on him, right? That could be interesting, wouldn't it? Misha says, but that would be a terrible look for him politics-wise. But he's no longer interested in politics. And listen, I think half his politics were fake anyway. Just saying. Misha says, yes, Grace, he loves lights, camera, action. Exactly. He's always been reputed for that, right? And I agree. Yes, I remember this Winnie the Cat. He had this blackface moment. I don't even remember why that was. It was college or something like that. He also did this thing with like Indian brown face or something, and then he put on a turban, and then he plays like Mother Teresa, Saint Paul, or whatever. Like, he's very, very fake, you guys. You have to look into this guy. On the surface, and again, pretty privileged, right? On the surface, you assume he's one way, and he speaks as if he's one way. But if you really dig deep onto him, he's not that much better than the people that he kind of goes up against. He's awesome. Says, why would the photographers be in Montreal? Bye. Everyone is lying. This is all PR. Exactly. Nobody. And then they're like, oh, dating Katy Perry comes with so much attention. I'm sorry, but this is Katy's flop era. People do not care about Katy like that, right? Kate says, bet it's because JT is still tapping his ex. You think, no, his ex is Sophie. She's been dating this surgeon for quite a while now. And did you guys hear the rumors that she was apparently screwing Idris Elba during the pandemic? That was one of the craziest rumors ever. I don't know if it's true or not, but that was a rumor that really, truly took me by surprise. And what story are you talking about, by the way? Is that the divorce list? And maybe she'll get around to it. Keep an eye out. Maybe she'll get around to it. I know my girl always has 1,000,001 stories going on. Tadisha says, Justin and Katy are an unexpected odd couple, in my opinion. Exactly. And that's what I love about it. I love a couple that comes out of nowhere. Really? You know each other? You're on the same planet? That's crazy. East Awesome says, sorry, not sorry. Katy Perry is the problem. We're busy. Means she is difficult. I'll never forgive her for being mean. What did she do to you, East Awesome? We're ready to square up behind you, but what did she do to you? Whoa, that's crazy. Please, please, please. Did I miss the rest of your comment? Did you tell us what she did? That's crazy. Oh my God. I have always heard that she's not a nice person. And can I be honest, East? I kind of feel like you told me the story, but I forgot about it. Was it a dinner or something? But I always heard that she's not a nice person. So I'm not surprised. And I already believe your story before I can even recall what it is. She just says, wait, I thought the Trump daughter loved Justin. The Daily Show has an entire video. Oh, maybe it was him. I think it's both of them. Listen, Justin Trudeau is a very handsome man. And I'm still trying to, well, here's the thing. He's a good looking man. He's not Justin Baldoni level handsome, okay? But he's a good looking man. And he's very tall, right? I'm still trying to find that selfie I have with him. We met him a couple times in Ottawa. That's the thing about Ottawa and Canada being so small and whatnot. You get to meet these people, assez souvent, often enough. If you're, a lot of people in Ottawa work in politics, right? My sister works in politics. So that's how I got to meet him a couple times. Misha says, he had a boxing stick. Remember, so guys, for those of you who don't know, you can go look this up. It's in French though. So, hopefully you'll find it with the subtitles, but it was so funny. So he was trying to do this celebrity guest, boxing, whatever thing, right? And so he's talking to his wife and he's really hyping himself up. I'm telling you, he's such a douche. He's like, I'm going to win. And his ex-wife's name is Sophie. I'm going to win, Sophie. I was put on this earth to win. I'm a champion. And his wife is so irritated. She's like, be humble. Justin, be humble, right? You don't know if you're going to win. Just be humble, be confident, but don't say I'm put on this earth to win a celebrity boxing match. What is that, right? And so the match starts. Guess who loses? That guy. Oh my goodness gracious. Absolutely hilarious. East Austin says, I remember feeling devastated when Idris was the first famous Black person to You make it sound like he contracted I don't know, something deadly and croaked. The contract COVID. It's not funny, but it's the way you wrote it is hilarious. He's awesome. I hope you were able to make it through that, babe. And yeah, he's a cute guy. He's a very nice guy, very tall guy too. Oh Lord, y'all, I'm melting. I feel like I'm gonna have to take a shower before I head out. I'm melting. What's the temperature? And it's only 27 degrees. You know what I think it might even be? It might be these lights. I've got these 3 giant lights on me. I think they're cooking me. East Awesome says Katy Perry was being nasty to me at the 20. I knew. Okay, I remember this. And look, y'all. Look, East Awesome was at the presidential inauguration dinner. Bougie. I knew you were bougie, boo. Important in my Dorinda from Roni voice. Important. Bye, Cammy. Have a good day, boo. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm sorry to hear that. And somebody else said something about, I think they showed her just being a biatch to somebody, like at one of these kinds of presidential things too. Was that you in the video? Because I remember seeing a video of her at a dinner, a presidential video, sure enough, as well, presidential dinner. And same thing. People were saying she was very, very rude. And people were saying that she was speaking over like the speakers during this like dinner as well. So I'm not surprised. You know, I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm not surprised. Bree says Katy Perry's whole persona is a quirky Zoe dish. You know, don't they look similar too? It's all a weird performance. She's MAGA too. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah. Listen, that's the thing. Like, you know, the curtain is slowly lifting on all of these people. So, you know, keep an eye, you know, always sleep with one eye open when it comes to these people. Bye again, Cammy. Nice to see you. And see, Misha remembers that video. If you guys can, look up the Justin Trudeau boxing video. It's such a meme in Canada. Everybody laughed their asses off at him. Hey, Star, am I doing a dance class tonight? No, tonight I'm hanging out with my friend Kenny. We're going to be eating Taiwanese street food. This is going to be my first time eating Taiwanese food. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's right downtown by the Galeries Lafayette. Do you guys know the Galeries Lafayette? It's near there, and Ousmane. I'm going to tell you guys if it's good or not. You know, I'm going to try to share photos and stuff on my Instagram. Like says Trudeau was super unlikable, even by liberal Canadians. Exactly. He was just so performative. Oh my God. Like, oh, I roll. Steph says Katy is still walking around with a chip on her shoulder from her childhood. And you know what? This humiliation of like the space thing doesn't help either, right? She's going through it. She really is. Do I feel bad for her though? No. Winnie the Cat says, because you know, when you're grown and you got all this money for all this therapy and stuff, and instead of using it for that, you're going around treating people like garbage. Please. Winnie says, Katy wonders why she's struggling to sell concert tickets. And speaking of that, when you go back and look at that photo or that video, thanks, Carly. That's so nice. I'll keep you posted on the cat too. The cat's name is Eska. You guys know the bottle of water, Eska? I was like, oh, you mean like the water? Are you a fan of the water? And they didn't know that that was a brand of water. So when you look at the video of Justin Trudeau at the Katy Perry concert, you'll notice that they put tarps over like the 100 section behind him because they didn't sell. It was empty. Just saying. East Awesome says Katy Perry's dad is MAGA, but was nasty to me at Obama's dinner. What was she even doing there? And she sang for Joe Biden. Well, you know, that's the thing. A lot of these people, they'll pretend that they vote one way, but then in reality, it's a completely different way. It's just about what's popular at any given moment, right? And thanks again, Carly. Listen, you guys, I am melting. I'm going to take a quick shower and then head out to my dinner. I'll share photos and whatnot on my Instagram page, so stay tuned for that. It's Grace Report over on Instagram. Per usual, thank you so much for joining me for another episode of The Morning Report. I will be back for another episode tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget, next week, we won't be doing The Morning Report for the first half of the week at least. I have a lot of research and things to catch up on, okay? Take care, you guys, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed it, please don't hesitate to hit that like button. Bye, guys.